get into touch with a new concept. As you all know that what is landscape of soil? Landscape here means a land. The whole thing here we have given just opposite of the title. Here we are talking about the landscape. Landscape means land, about China. Okay. But in China we are not talking about that country, but here we are talking about on two of the themes. Let me introduce first the theme of this chapter. The first theme is here. You have given the title landscape of the soul, in which we have given ethics and spirituality of Chinese painting. Here we are having something about painting. Clear? So first part you have given landscape of the soul, in which ethics and spirituality of Chinese painting. What kind of Chinese paintings are there? They are having literally very importance of. They are having importance of the wall painting, whatever they have done. Second part we are having getting inside outsider art. Clear? So this is our second part. We have here given about the painting of the Chinese painting, what they are thinking about the painting, and the second part here we are having getting inside outsider art. Actually in this part it is written by Brinda Suri. The second part written by Brinda Suri in the newspaper Hindustan Times. Hindustan Times in the year 2005. So one of the article here we are having about getting inside outsider art. So here first part here starting landscape of the soul, written by Nathan Chowroy. Okay, this is the, you can see over here that writer name you can write down into the introduction. Let us start part 1. So let us start chapter number 4, landscape of the soul. First part, landscape here means a painting of the countryside. Here you have given the first word from the title. I will like to start at the landscape, a painting of a countryside. A painting of a countryside. Clear? First of all, here you have given a wonderful old tale is told about painter Wu Daozi. Underline the word Wu Daozi, who was a painter in ancient time. Wonderful tale. Tale means here imaginative story. Who lived in the 8th century. Who was in the 8th century, who has given us a beautiful story about painting. What actually the importance of painting he has given us. His last painting was a landscape commissioned by the Tang Emperor Xuanzong. Underline the word, his last painting was. उसने जो last painting की थी, the landscape commission. Here underline the word commission. To create something. Here commission means that means ask to create. If someone tell you to create something, that means commission. Ask to create something. So here you have here the commissioned by, who has given to do that painting. So Tang Emperor Xuanzong, who ordered Daozi. Here you have given to do a painting. So emperor name is Xuanzong. वो राजा थे जिन्होंने Wu Daozi पेंटर को पेंटिंग करने के लिए कहा गया था. To decorate a palace wall. So that king has ordered Daozi to do a painting on palace wall. So here the master had hidden his work behind a screen. So finally the master, who master here? Painter. Daozi was a master who had hidden his painting just behind the curtains. So only the emperor would see it. So that paintings only who can see? The king only see that paintings. For a long while, after some time, the emperor admired the wonderful scene. Emperor noticed the wonderful scene over there, and discovering forest, he can see into the painting that in that painting, what the things are there? Discovering forest, high mountains, waterfalls, clouds, floating in immense sky. Immense here means large sky. Here, immense means large open sky. So he can see all these things into Daozi's painting. And afterward, he said that man on hilly paths, birds in flights, that the birds and men are there in that painting. Look, sire. Here, sire means sir. Look, sir, said the painter. In this cave, at the foot of the mountain, whatever the painting are there, he can see that. And he told to king that, look at sir, in this cave or at the foot of the mountain dwells a spirit. Dwells means inhabit. Rehna. Here dwells means inhabit. In short, I can say that live. Who lived there in that cave? A spirit means ghost lived there in that cave. The painter clapped his hands and the entrance to the cave opened. As he just went to the king, he told to king that in this painting you can see cave. In that cave one spirit lived. As the painter clapped the hand, the entrance of the cave opened. This is just a fiction story. जैसे हम काल्पनिक कथाएं सुनते हैं, actually this is not happened in anywhere. Okay, so this is just fictional story. So the painter clapped his hands and entrance to the cave opened, and the inside is splendid. Inside is splendid means, splendid here means good. As the entrance opened, the king can see that the cave was literally very beautiful. Beyond anything words can convey. None of the word can express the beauty of that cave. So king was not having any single word to express the beauty of that cave, whatever drawn by painter. Please let me show your majesty the way. And the painter entered the cave. Finally, he just informed the king that now I am moving into the cave. Finally, he moved into the cave, but the entrance closed behind him. As he just entered the cave from the painting, how is it possible? As he entered the cave and finally the entrance closed after he getting inside. And before the astonished emperor, the emperor was astonished means literally surprised, shocked, could move or utter a word. Utter here means speak. He cannot speak any single word. At that time he was literally shocked over there. So the painting had vanished from the wall. After entering the painter into the cave, the painting literally vanished from the wall. Not a trace of Wu Daozi's brush was left. Even not a trace. Trace means एक बूंद भी of the brush was not there. वो जो पेंटिंग की थी उसके कलर की एक बूंद भी वहाँ पे नहीं बची थी. And the artist was never seen again in this world. After that, king has never seen that Daozi again into that world. With that painting, even the painter was literally disappeared. Such stories played an important part in China's classical education. This kind of story we can hear or we can see into the China's education, that is the traditional stories. The books of Confucius and Zhuangzi are full of them. Underline the word of Confucius and Zhuangzi. This is the book's name. Like we are having Ramayana, Mahabharata. Likewise, they are also having the holy books. Here you have given the name. So underline it. They helped the master to guide his disciple in the right direction. always helped the master to show the right way to their disciples. Disciple means followers. Always they have shown the right way to their followers. So beyond the anecdote, anecdote here means short amusing story. Here you can write anecdote. Anecdote means short amusing story. Okay, so here you have given a short story. They are deeply revealing of spirit in which art was considered. Contrast this story or another famous one about the painter who wouldn't draw the eye of dragon. See, here that part is done. Dowsey's part is done. Now they are talking about another painting that the painter had drawn the whole dragon, but that painter had not drawn the eye of the dragon. Why he had not drawn the eye of the dragon? Just because he had painted for fear it would fly out the painting, just because that dragon might be looked like original. He was afraid that might be that dragon can come out from the painting. That's why the painter had drawn the whole dragon, but he has not drawn the eye of the dragon. With an old story from my native Flanders. Native Flanders means native peoples that I find most representative of Western painting. See, two types of paintings are there. First one is that looks ugly, but there is a meaning deep inside. Second painting is looked very attractive, that looks original, outsider beauty. So two kind of paintings are there, inner beauty and outsider beauty. In 15th century, Antwerp is the name of place. A master blacksmith called, one of the blacksmith was there, जिसको हम लोहार कहते हैं, blacksmith, whose name was, underline the whole line, in 15th century Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quintin Matsys. The blacksmith name was Quintin Matsys. Fell in love with a painter's daughter, who fell in love with one of the painter's daughter. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession, just because he was a blacksmith and the girl's father was a painter, and just because of the boy's profession, the father had not accepted that relationship. So Quintin sneaked into the painter's studio. One day, Quintin means that blacksmith surprisingly entered into the painter's studio. जो लड़की का father था, उसके स्टूडियो में चुपके से घुस गया, and then painted a fly on his latest panel. Panel means where you can draw picture, whiteboard, okay, canvas. So on that he has drawn one of the fly with such delicate realism. Delicate realism means that painting was looked alike. It was looked real. He drawn a fly over there. That the master tried to sweat it away. When the painter comes into the studio, means the girl's father came into the studio. At that time he thought that on the panel one real fly was there. एक सच्ची मक्खी है, उसको ऐसा लगा. And he tried to swat away, उसको उड़ाने की कोशिश कर रहा था. Before he realized what had happened, because he has not having any idea that this is just a painting. This is not a real fly. Quintin was immediately admitted as an apprentice into his studio. Apprentice. Underline the word. Apprentice means learner. Finally, he was selected into the studio. He can learn everything from the painter now. He accepted him and he married his beloved. Finally, that Quintin married to his beloved and went on to become one of the most famous painter of his age. And finally, he became the most famous painter at their age. These two stories illustrate what each form of art is trying to achieve. Two types of form of painting I have already told you, inside beauty or outsider beauty, and perfect illusionistic likeness. Illusionistic likeness means look alike, that looks real. In Europe, the essence of inner life and the spirit in Asia. Say, two of the stories here we are having. One of regarding about China and one of related to Europe. In China they are having not attractive painting, but the meaning was truly very deep. In Europe, yes, they are having definitely a beautiful painting that attracts people, that is outsider beauty. So two form of the painting here we have seen. One is related to China and second one is related to Europe. In the Chinese story, now let us start. What happened in the Chinese story? In the Chinese story, the emperor commissions a painting and appreciates its outer appearance. See, in Chinese story, the emperor means the king commissions a painting and appreciates its outer appearance. He praised the outer appearance of the painting, but the artist reveals to him the true meaning of his work. But artist explained the actual meaning of the painting to the king. The emperor may rule over the territory. The emperor ruled over in that kingdom. He was conquered. Definitely he was conquered means he was a winner, but only the artist knows way within. Let me show the way. Finally the artist has shown the way. The Dao. Dao means here Daozi. A word that means both the path or the method. The Tao here means a method or method. Path, sorry. The way or the method. The mysterious works of the universe, the painting is gone, but the artist has reached his goal beyond any material appearance. See, finally the king has shown that the painter who Daozi was disappeared with that painting, but that Daozi was not again found into the king's life. उन्हें कभी मिला ही नहीं अपनी पूरी life में. So he was having a great knowledge of painting. Where a classical Chinese landscape is not meant to reproduce an actual view. Classical Chinese landscape, I can say that is not meant to reproduce an actual view. That doesn't show any actual view. As would a Western, as on the other side. See, two types of painting, one classical and second one is Western. So Western figurative painting, whereas the European painter wants you to borrow his eyes. They only wants you to make your eyes onto the painting. They just want that you will have to look at the painting. आप खाली वो painting को देखो. Whereas Chinese person, they are trying to tell us the inside story of the painting. वो हमें inside की जो चीजें होती है वो बताना चाहते हैं. Borrow his eyes and look at the particular landscape exactly as he showed it. Whatever he has done, he wanted to make us also to show the same thing. From the specific angle, the Chinese painter does not choose a single viewpoint. The Chinese painter who does not choose a single viewpoint of the painting. His landscape is not real one. Yes, obviously, his painting was not look like real. It was looking like ugly, but deep meaning inside it. You can enter it from any point. You can enter to the painting from any of the point. Then travel in it, and then you can travel the painting. Then you can see the whole history of the painting. The artist creates a path for your eyes to travel up and down. The Chinese artist always creates a path to travel that painting. You can understand the history of that painting, means inside meaning of the painting. Then back again in a leisurely moment. Then again you can come back from that painting in a leisurely moment, in a slight moment. This is even more true in the case of the horizontal scroll. Horizontal scroll means a scroll of a paper. Likewise, you are scrolling that scroll of paper in which the action of slowly opening one section of the painting. As you are opening the page, you can see the painting of the one section. Then rolling it up to move on to another. And as you are rolling up, you can see the other things. Adds a dimension. Here dimension means magnitude of time, which is unknown in any other form of painting. In Chinese painting, whatever things are there, that is the same thing that is unknown for other painting. It also requires the active participation of the viewer. If you want to understand the Chinese painting, definitely you will have to participate into it to understand the inner meaning of it. Who decides at what pace he will travel through the painting? A participation which is physical as well as mental. Chinese painting needs two types of participation. One is physical and second one is mental participation. And the Chinese painter does not want you to borrow his eyes. Obviously, Chinese painter does not want your eyes. They want your mind. Whereas European, they want your eyes. And the Chinese painter does not want you to borrow his eyes. He wants you to enter his mind. The landscape is an inner one. Obviously, the landscape means painting is inner one. Which painting is inner one? Chinese painting. A spiritual and conceptual space. The Chinese painting here, conceptual space means related or based upon ideas. Whatever the painting here they have drawn, it was related to idea, conceptual. Here, conceptual means related to ideas. It was on any idea, it was having any specific history. Okay, so this is called Chinese painting. Turn the page. Here you have given this concept is expressed as Shan Shui. Shan Shui means literally mountain water. Shan Shui means mountain water. This concept is called mountain water, which used to together represent the world landscape, which we can use for landscape. More than two elements of an image. There are two elements of an image. This represents two complementary poles. Two complementary poles are there. Complementary means different but attractive combination. Yes, obviously different combination here we are having, reflecting the Taoist view of the universe. Taoist, the painter whose view is different from any other painting, who wants to make us to see different thing into the painting. The mountain is Yang. Yang, underline the word. In Chinese language, the mountain is called Yang, reaching vertically. Obviously, the mountain looks like vertically, standing line towards heaven, and that lies toward heaven. Stable, it was warm, it was dry in the sun, while the water is called in the Chinese language Yin. So Yin, horizontal. So water we can see on the surface of the land, and it was horizontal way. Yin, the receptive feminine aspect. See, we are using the female pronoun, feminine pronoun for the river. Nadi आई, नदी गई, यहाँ से नदी बहती है, बहती, बहता है नहीं कहते, so feminine. And mountain, वहाँ पे एक बड़ा सा पहाड़ था, so for mountain we are using masculine. Here you can see the feminine aspect of universal energy that we are using for water, and its counterpart Yang, and its partner, counterpart means partner, opposite thing is Yang, means mountain, that is active and masculine. For mountain we are using masculine pronoun. Is of course a fundamental notion of Taoism. What is often overlooked is an essential third element. Two elements we are having. First element is mountain, second is water. But what is the third element here? The middle void. What is a middle void? Middle void where the interaction takes place. See, mountain and water, in between human beings are there. In between human beings are there that connect to each other. Mountain and water दोनों को connect करते हैं. This can be compared with yogic practice of pranayama. This third element compared to the pranayam. Pranayam, I hope you know this thing. Here you have given the explanation. Breathe in, सांस अंदर लो, retain, उसको थोड़ा रोक के रखो, and then breathe out, फिर उसको निकालो. This is called pranayam. The suspension. Suspension means जो आप सांस को रोक के रखो, that space is called suspension. Of the breath is void where meditation occurs. When you stopped your breath inside, at that time you can do meditation, and nothing can happen without it. Obviously middle void is the most essential part. Nothing can do without it. Hence the importance of the white unpainted space in Chinese landscape. So here you can see the white unpainted space in Chinese landscape. This is the three elements we can see into the Chinese painting. This is also where man finds a fundamental role. This is also the thing where man finds basic role. Fundamental means basic role. In that space between heaven and earth, Heaven means mountain, earth means water. So these two connect heaven and earth, and in between the human beings are there. He becomes the conduit. Conduit means medium. Conduit means medium. Which medium here you are talking about? His presence, he becomes a conduit of communication between both poles of universe. Who was the pole? Who was the intersection? Who was the between part? Human beings that can connect heaven and the earth. So his presence is essential. Obviously his presence should be there. Even if it's only suggested. भले ही खाली उसका नाम हो, but human being should be there. होने ही चाहिए. Far from being lost or oppressed by the lofty peaks or very high peaks. Lofty means very high. Lofty means very high. Okay. So lofty peaks, and he is in Francois Chang's wonderful expression. One of the person has wrote this, underline the word Francois Chang's, that the eye of the landscape. This is the eye of the landscape. The title has given by the person Francois Chang. So this is the chapter excerpt, means taken from the Landscape of the Stars book, and this is all about the painting. Okay, so this is our first part. Second part I will send you soon. Till then you just refer this video, and inquiries is there, then we will meet into the live session. There we can interaction to each other. Thank you.